Hello and welcome to AWS Certified Solution Architect course. In this series, we will discuss about storage options in Amazon Web Services. So first of all, we will discuss about Simple Storage Service. Simple Storage Service is also known as S3. S3 provides developers and IT teams with secure, durable, highly scalable object storage. Amazon S3 is easy to use with a simple web services interface to store and retrieve any amount of data from anywhere on the web. Customers use S3 as primary storage for cloud-native applications, as a bulk repository or data lake for analytics, as a target for backup and recovery and disaster recovery, and also with serverless computing. Amazon Simple Storage Service is object storage with a simple web service interface to store and retrieve data. It's simple to move large volumes of data into or out of Amazon S3 with Amazon's cloud data migration option. Once data is stored in S3, it can be automatically tiered into lower cost, longer term cloud storage classes like S3 Standard Infrequent Access and Amazon Glacier for archiving. S3 is object-based. Therefore, it allows you to upload files. The file size can be from 1 byte to 5 TB. There is unlimited storage, hence it's highly scalable. The files are stored in buckets. Buckets, you can call it as a Windows folder where we put our files. So similarly in AWS, the buckets are like which will be the header of the files which will be stored in that particular bucket, and you can restrict access to the buckets using policies. You can make the objects under those buckets as public using the interface AWS Management Console. So that is all we will discuss in the coming videos while we do practical. The buckets have a unique namespace for each region. For example, if your bucket is lying in EU West 1, then the URL of your bucket will be https://s3-eu-west-1.amazonaws.com/your bucket name. Amazon guarantees 99.99% availability for the S3 platform. It also guarantees 99.99999999% durability for S3 information. That means there is very less probability that your data will be lost in case of any mishap or any calamities. The S3 buckets can have metadata key value pairs on each storage. It has lifecycle management where you can define what need to be done with the data after a certain period of time. So you can choose other options for storage for archiving the data using the lifecycle management policies. Versioning is another feature of S3 buckets where you can give version number to each update on the objects of S3 bucket. The benefit of using versioning is you will be knowing when the updates were done on the objects in the buckets, and in case of the deletion or by accidental deletion of the objects, you can retrieve the older version of the data. So it's a very good feature to have. Apart from this, versioning is also used when you enable cross-zone or cross-region replications. So In that case, the versions are must to be enabled so that data consistency is there across regions. So we'll discuss about all these features in the coming video lessons. Now let's discuss some of the features of Amazon S3. The first feature is it's very simple to use and manage. The Amazon S3 is a web-based management. We can use a web-based management console or even a mobile app to manage S3 buckets, and it also provides full REST APIs and SDKs for easy integration with third-party technologies. So when you use S3 buckets in AWS, you will find that you can integrate AWS S3 with other services of Amazon. So it makes it very easy and simple to manage and to integrate with other services in AWS. The next feature is durability. Amazon S3 provides durable infrastructure to store important data and is designed for durability of 99.9 times 9% of objects. So that means there is a highly redundant storage across multiple facilities and availability zones of your S3 data. So there is very less probability that you will lose your data when you store in S3. The next feature is scalability. So you can store whatever amount of data you want in S3, but the size of the object should be from 1 byte to 5 TB. Since it's a unlimited storage, so you can say it's highly scalable and you don't have to worry about the storage in Amazon S3. The only thing is you can create 100 buckets per account, and after that you may request Amazon to increase the bucket count, but the 100 bucket is what is defined by Amazon as S3 buckets you can create. So the next feature is security. Amazon S3 supports data transfer over SSL and automatic encryption of your data once it is uploaded. So that means it's highly secure, and you don't have to worry about your data, and all the encryption and SSL, everything will be taken care by Amazon S3. Also, you can configure access to your bucket by using identity and access management, and you can control who need to access your S3 bucket and who can manage the objects or who can delete by using the IAM policies and ACLs, access control list. So these things you can configure to protect your data at user level. Now let's talk about availability of S3. So Amazon S3 standard is designed for up to 99.99% availability of objects over a given year and is backed by Amazon S3 service level agreement. So it's ensuring that you can rely on it when needed. You can also choose an AWS region to optimize for latency, minimize costs, or address regulatory requirements. So one thing I would like to highlight here is the cost of S3 may differ from region to region depending on the taxes involved in that particular region. So if you're using S3 in Japan, it will be slightly costlier to you than in North Virginia or some other region, because Japan government has put some extra taxes on the services, so that is why it will cost you a bit more. So these things have to be considered while designing our infrastructure and creating our S3 buckets and all. Apart from that, the another feature is low cost. So it will give you a very cheap storage service. So you can put your data into S3, and it allows you to store large amount of data at a very low cost. Using lifecycle policies, you can even automatically migrate your data to S3 standard infrequent access and Amazon Glacier to further reduce your cost and manage your data. So these are the things that S3 provides, which you can use to minimize your costs. Another feature is simple data transfer. So Amazon provides multiple options for cloud data migrations and makes it simple and cost effective for you to move large volumes of data into or out of Amazon S3. Customers can choose from network optimized, physical disk based, or third party connector methods for import to or export from the S3 buckets. Another feature is integration. So as we discussed earlier, Amazon S3 is deeply integrated with other AWS services to make it easier to build solutions that use a range of AWS services. So you can integrate your Amazon S3 with EC2, with the storage gateway, CloudFront, CloudWatch, RDS, Route 53, VPC, Lambda. So all these services you can integrate with S3 and vice versa. And last but not the least, S3 is very easy to manage. You have a URL, you can access your bucket from web browser. S3 storage management features allow you to take a data-driven approach to storage optimization, data security, and management efficiency. These enterprises class capabilities give you data about your data, so you can manage your storage based on that personalized metadata. So thank you for listening. In next videos, we will discuss other features and other components of storage in AWS.